Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Shemel, Shabbat Shem Kakwadash. Giving all praises to Yahweh Shemel, Shabbat Shem Kakwadash. Now a son called Halal La Yahweh Shemel, Shabbat Shem Kakwadash. And I'm going to entitle this video, The Fleet Doctrine Debunked Once and for All. Get out your notepads. I'll give you a lot of precepts here. Anyway, this is based upon a video that was put up by Hebrews to Negroes TV, aka Moses Levy, Ronald Dalton Jr. The name of the video, this is 2 months ago. It says the anti-Africa spirit of the Black Hebrew Israelites. Do we have Israelite agents in disguise? Now I didn't watch the whole video. I watched most of it, some of it, and I kind of jumped around a little bit. And maybe some other videos I watched. I believe it was this video here, but he goes all into, well, the topic is the anti-American spirit of the Black Hebrew Israelites. Basically, he teaches that the Israelites, the 12 tribes, are all American blacks, African Americans, whatever you want to call them, Negroes, coloreds. They're the Israelites, which is correct on that. And then anybody in Africa, they're all Israelites. And the reason why he make that statement that, you know, all, pretty much, or he says all, not most. He says all. He says if you're a Black African, you're an Israelite. And then he goes into the fact that the Israelites, you know, going back, you know, 3,000 plus years, they any country that they went into, they put their seed in there. So pretty much Israelites went into Africa and they just planted their seed among all the African countries and nations, the continent. So therefore they're all Israelites. No, that doesn't happen. That means that there's no such thing as Hamites. That means the Israelites wiped out the Hamites. That means the Israelites wiped out the Hamites. And pretty much if you go by that theory, but by that line of thinking, Israelites are scattered all over the place. So guess what? If you go to China, you know, certain, wherever you had Israelites, they just popped everything in sight and killed all the men. Nah, you off, my man. Because if that was to happen, like I said, there would be no Hamites. There'd be no Mizraim. I'm talking about when the kingdom is established. There'll be no Mizraim, which are the Egyptians. There'll be no Put. There'll be no Canaan. And there'll be no Cush. So there's no such thing as Cushites. Cushites, no, those are the Israelites. So that's, you know, that wasn't a wise statement that you made. And that's why we here at GMS, Great Millstone, the will within the will. That's the new one, the will within the will. Because when you go to Ezekiel, the 1st chapter, and you read from the fourth verse, it describes the ship, and it says a will within a will. When you click on it, and on the blue letter, one of the definitions of the will within the will is a millstone, because a great millstone is a will within a will. But this great millstone crushes things. So we do what the name that we have. Our spirit is based upon our name, which is a millstone. What does a millstone do? What is its job? To take corn and crush it. So we jump on everything. These other Israelite camps, they haven't really even mentioned this guy. This guy, and I heard about him years, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years, whatever. So I'm well aware of him and the videos. But the big controversy, with the Kyrie Irving, and now they're talking about striking against the NBA, because Jake is tired of this shit, man. See, you done fucked up. You done fucked up. The ADL, you done fucked up. Hey, there's a video, and I got it somewhere in my favorites, where there's this group in Atlanta, Israel, and they represent they're like soccer hooligans. I'll get back into the subject. What's it, Beret or something like that? And it was put up by what company would put that up? It was a company, a well-known company that makes videos and documentaries. And basically this I'm not gonna look for it, I'll give it to you later. You ask for it, I'll give it to you. It's the most racist like cheerleaders, soccer hooligans on the planet Earth. I mean, they're so goddamn racist, and they push the Israel thing, which is nationalism. There's nothing wrong with being a national. You love your nation, Olympics, you root for your nation, right? But they take it to the next level. They hate you if you're not a part of their nation. Now, in that story, I should look for it, but I'm not. Just ask me for it. If I don't remember, ask me about it. This team, which is a good team, good soccer team, pro soccer team, they had all the members were Israeli small hats, but they recruited, or it was a trade, and this is the first time it happened in the history of that soccer team in that league. They recruited these guys from Chechnya. I think it was 2 guys from Chechnya, right? So they had man, and Chechnyan people are Edomites, So they recruited these guys, great soccer players, right? So they had a game, and one of the Chechnyan scored for their team, that Israeli team, and that group that backs the Israeli team protested against it. They booed this guy. He's winning for your team. It says, if you go to that video, it pretty much says they're the most hated racist group as far as soccer cheerleaders or hooligans, on the planet. So we're finding out that really this thing with Kyrie is really about hate. And they are the blessed people. The only blessed people on the earth are the small hats. And it's being proven that the only people that are blessed. First, Jake hits a lotto. I'm blessed. No, you ain't blessed. You ain't blessed. Kyrie proved that he ain't blessed. With all the money that he has, he's worth something like $500 million. Yay, he's not blessed. He said, look, Adidas is this. Adidas will never get rid of me. And you know what they did? They got a phone call from the ADL, and they said, cut him. And you know what? They cut him. And what happened? Let me find this. Where the hell? Okay, bear with me for a minute. I'm a little all over the place. I'm trying to find this video here. Okay, that's not it. Okay. Damn. It's a video, and it's up. More than one video where it goes into ever since they cut Ye from Adidas. Adidas done lost, and inside of a month, Adidas done lost $250 million. And they're using his design. They're using his design, but they're changing the name and all that. Show you that these motherfuckers don't give a shit about you. And Jake sees this. And Shaq, shut the fuck up. Charles, Chuck E. Cheese, Barkley, shut the fuck up. Yeah, because you niggas, Herschel Walker. Oh my goodness. That dude, man. Oh my goodness. They show you that we have times out there. I'm all over the place. Please forgive me. Anyway, before I go into this subject, debunking this whole free doctrine with precepts. So what I did was I put a handful of precepts together, which I normally don't do. So that's why I said take out your notepads. Anyway, let me do this. Before I go into that, I want to come right here. Okay, I was watching this last night. This is Cross the Line Radio. And I watched them. Do I subscribe to them? You know what? I'm going to subscribe to them. All right. Because the Cross the Line Radio with Captain Tazariak and Captain Katazak, if I said it right. Very good show because it's basically a call-in show. And basically it's basics because people that call, like they're asking a deep question, it's really basic, basic stuff to these people. So I was watching this, the last video that was put up, Captain Tazariak checks Christian hypocrite for interrupting debate. And this is why we don't like dealing with hypocrites, Christians, because they're clowns. They're straight clowns. So let me play some of it. Give me a second here.
What you said, what I said then, and I'm saying now, is that when you answered the question, it led to a follow-up question. One thing I have not done is ignored any question that you had. But yes, I have not. Yes, when you asked about Hebrews, I answered it. No, you didn't answer it. I did answer it. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Not only did I answer it by going to Hebrews 1, 8, and 9. Are you going to allow me to ask you a question? When I'm finished just asking you a follow-up question. Is that so hard? Okay, go ahead with the follow-up. Thank you. Did Joseph and them already know the laws of God? Yes or no? Did Joseph and them, meaning Joseph and Mary, so Joseph didn't know the laws of God? Yes. Now let me ask you a question. So they knew the laws of God. Now let me ask you a question.
See what I mean by these wacky tacky Christians? They're clowns. This is why we don't want to deal with them. We don't want to. They're considered persona non grata. What's the plural for persona non grata? Persona non grata is a person that we don't accept. We don't accept vocab. None of them Christians. They're wacky, all right? And we shouldn't accept these comedic people. They're wacky too. But anyway, if you watch this video, this is the latest video from the Cross the Line Radio, and I recommend you can watch it because they teach pretty much the same thing that we teach, but just don't listen. When they talk about the MOTB, turn it off. Or if they say something that you're not sure about, come to us, come to the GMS. Any of the elders of GMS, bishops, elders, apostles. But anyway, you know what I want to do? I gotta bear me for a minute. I want to try to find where they went into the genealogy. Listen up.
The statement that you made. Could I ask you a question? And I said yes. After I respond to the answer that you gave, I be sorrowing unless you telling me Mary was lying to Jesus.
That's what is that, Luke 2:40, 42, around there, when he disappeared from his parents, Joseph and Mary, for it was 3 days. Obviously, they were in Jerusalem during the Passover, and he became a man. So let's listen on.
They knew that Joseph was the biological father of Jesus Christ, and when he said, "I must be a..."
Exactly. So this Christian clown, he pulls out Luke 3, but they both went off. Him and Captain both went off for different reasons.
You there? I can hear you, brother. Okay. And Jesus himself began to be about 30 years of age, being, as was supposed, the son of Joseph. What does that mean, as was supposed?
If you go to that scripture, there's a parentheses. Parentheses means that it's an afterthought. It's not a part of the original scripture. He's reading out of Luke chapter 3, verse 23. So when they say, as was supposed, the son of Joseph, and then it goes on to say, which is the son of Eli. And both of them go off for different reasons. So let's listen to some more.
That's your question? I just want to make sure you're done, because when I go to answer it, I don't want you to say I'm not. What does as was supposed mean? That's my question. The as was, I'm just going to the verse, and then I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to answer. So Luke 3 and 23. Can I give you two answers? It's not going to deviate. All I want to know is, what does as was supposed mean? So the first question answer I got before I answered the question is as was supposed, was that in the original text, or was it something added in?
It was something added in, because why would you, let me do this, bring this over here. Let me go to Luke 3 and 23. I believe it's 23. Luke 3 and 23. Okay, so we're okay. Okay, you see here it says Jesus is baptized, right? I don't like to say Jesus. You see that? These are extras. This is not a part of the scripture. This is in parentheses, meaning these are other precepts that you can go to. If you go to the original scriptures, you're not going to see these precepts here. 23rd verse. And as Yahushua himself began to be about 30 years of age, being the son of Joseph, which was the son of Eli, as was supposed, is not a part of the original text. If you go to Matthew's 1, chapter 1, and it speaks about the virgin, the word there in the Greek is what's the Greek word? Parthenos, Genesis. Genesis meaning like the birth of something, and Parthenos meaning virgin birth, meaning a woman that never been touched. And so that's supposed to be the fulfillment of Isaiah, where it speaks about, and a young woman, a young virgin shall conceive. The word there in Isaiah is, and I'm not going to go to it, Isaiah, it's the word for virgin is not Bathwala, which means virgin, the Hebrew word for virgin, but Ayalama, which means young woman. Aylam means young in the masculine sense. Ayalama or Ayalama makes it feminine. I said masculine, feminine. So that means a young woman of marriageable age. You can have a woman that has she can be 18 with maybe like a 2-year-old walking and another younger baby in the stroller. she's considered a virgin. Ayalama, not a virgin that never had sex. Okay, so Joseph had sex with Mary, so she can conceive. All right. So we got that out of the way. So as you can see, parentheses. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? No, I gotta do that. Look up the word parentheses. There's something added to. So let's read that again. And Yahweh Shai himself. And there's a reason why I said Yahweh Shai, because that matter of fact, this should be in parentheses. That's not his real name. And Yahweh Shai himself began to be about 30 years of age, being the son of Joseph, which was the son of Eli. We're going to find out who the son of Eli is. And both of them got it wrong. And we're going to find out.
Added in my KGV is in parentheses. So was it original or was it added in? Yes or no?
It was clearly added in because you wouldn't see as was supposed in parentheses.
As was supposed is in the text. It's not in italics.
No, it's not.
Right? It's in parentheses. Is it in italics though? No. Answer the question, sir. So you're responsible. Answer the question. You know it's in your Bible.
See, what could kill that is, okay, we ain't even going to argue with that. Let's go someplace else. What does it mean by the root of David? What does it mean by the stem of Jesse? What does it mean by the seed of David? This is why we don't like arguing with these Christians. Now, top scholars, it would make sense to. Obviously, this Christian is not he's pretty much on the level of a vocab Malone. And vocab, he always gets his spiritual ass whipped by Jake. Okay, where did I say I was gonna go? All right, let me go to Romans. I believe it's Romans 1. I believe it's Romans 1 and 3, if I'm not mistaken. Concerning his son, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, our Lord, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh. How was he made of the seed of David? Did David come along and had relations with Mary? No. Joseph line goes directly back to David. What does the word seed mean? What does the word flesh mean? If the Lord just came on the scene like Melchizedek, that wouldn't be the fulfillment of prophecy. He would have to come from the line of David. Well, the angel, what tribe are the angels from? Gabriel. What tribe is Gabriel? Gabriel is of no tribe. He's an angel. The prophecies would not be fulfilled if he was born in Nazareth. That's what the scribes and Pharisees. Well, look, he was supposed to be born in Bethlehem, but he could have said, "Yeah, I was born in Bethlehem." But he was raised in Bethlehem. He was raised in Nazareth. He was born in Bethlehem. His ministry was mostly in Galilee. So he was born in Bethlehem. They fled into Egypt. There's a prophecy: my son shall come out of Egypt. So he has to be born a male. If it was a female, oh, that's the Lord. Nope, the Lord is a male. The Lord will be born in Bethlehem. The Lord would be of the tribe of Judah. So it says, concerning his son, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, our Lord. And that's that word. You know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. To show you that Kyrie Irving is confused. He's just confused. He needs to get with the GMS. Could you imagine him being part of GMS and giving us 10% of his? Shit. I would say, brother, you keep your money, man. Go make us go crazy. No, it's not. Anyway, it says, what do I want? What do I want? And see, right now, I didn't set this up. I'm kind of studying. This is how we put our lessons together, by the way, concerning his son. Okay, the Lord. Okay, you see there? You see that right there? Kyrios, which is Kyrie. Kyrie Irvin said, I looked up my name, Kyrie. It went back to the name. I believe he said Yahweh. And I was no. It goes back to the word, the name Lord, meaning your landlord. A man that's over you in rank is your Lord. In the ancient movies, yes, my Lord. A woman would call her husband in the ancient, these ancient Excalibur, my Lord. The man wouldn't call a woman my Lord. She would call him my Lord. If you're the king, my Lord. If you're one of the top men of the king, you're called my Lord. In the ancient world, it goes back to kings, sovereigns, lords, which are vassals. And then you have esquires. That's why your lawyers are called John Smith Esquire. Esquire is a squire. A squire is a helper to the Lord. When Jake, and those were Jakes, them knights, those were them. They were no goddamn Edomites, man. They were Jake. You don't believe me? Go down to the Met on 85th Street, 86th Street. It covers 3 blocks on 5th Avenue. Go up in there and go to the section with the knights are. There's a tournament book, and they'll change the pages, and there's Jake drawn in the tournament book. That was Jake, brother. That was the boxing of its day. Do you know how brutal that sport was? You going full speed on a horse with a stick with a damn some metal at the end of it, and you going head on with that. Esau couldn't do no shit like that. Even the kings did that. Kings and princes used to joust to show their manhood. And what they would do is, if they knew, well, that's the king. So, you forfeit. You let him win. You don't do that to the king, or you don't do it to the prince. They show you that in the movie A Knight's Tale. That the king, when they knew that's the king. Don't fight him. Default. So that was all Jake. Van Lichtenstein. Jake had names like that. Just like we got Smith and Jones and Jenkins. Back then we were Lichtenstein and Wolfgang. Mozart was a so-called black man. Here I'm going on my rant. But anyway, I just wanted to cover that. So, this guy, Kyrie Irving, he's got a lot of growing to do in his truth. And if he gets with the IUIC, he's gonna learn a lot, but he's gonna be led in the error. If he gets with the ISUPK, he's gonna ultimately be. They give you a lot of information, 98% same information, one West, but then it's gonna lead you in the error. And trust me, Kyrie is not gonna he's not gonna want to take the MOTB because he didn't take the jump shot. So if he goes around the ISUPK and General Yohana says, okay, you could take it. You can take the Karagma, the MOTB. He's going to say no. Another thing that he goes off is, he didn't accept the jump shot. He's doing fine. He didn't get sick, right? He didn't get sick. He teaches that the earth is flat. So he's confused. He's a baby in this thing. He don't know what's going on. We know what's going on. He don't know what's going on. That's a topic for you, Apostle Ram Love. We know what's going on. They don't know what's going on. What's this guy? Ronald Dalton. He's confused. He's an Israelite. That's good, but he's completely confused. So all you got to do is go to this one precept. So let's deal with the word seed. And I got to get into my subject, man. Yeah. concerning the Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. How do we know it's not Jesus and Yahushua? Because we studied. Christos is a word from the Hebrew, Mashiach. Mashiach just means chosen, anointed. Our Lord. Okay, the seed. Let's deal with the word seed. And the word is sperma. Now, we were speaking on 34th Street, and this Greek chick came up, but she was feeling me. Because when I remember I came down and Gabar came up, she walked away. You know, certain women that feel certain brothers, right? So she was smiling. And then I went into sperma, and she said spama. Is that the Greek word? Spama. So let's deal with this. Anyway, it says sperma, right? What does sperma mean? As she would say, it's spama, from which a plant germinates. You cannot grow an apple tree if you don't put any seeds in there. You cannot say, oh, God, make this apple tree come to life. It's not going to come unless you put a seed in there. The seed, i.e., the grain of kernel. Oh, by the way, kernel, that's where you get the word Cornelius, Acts 10 and Acts 11. The name Cornelius means seed because he was the seed of Israel, which contains within it the germ of the future plant. So what do? We plant our seed, right? Didn't this guy, Elijah Muhammad in the movie X, told Malcolm X, he said, I must plant my seed of the grains of kernel. And if you put an orange seed expecting an apple tree, then you're a damn fool. A Jake seed, if he lays with any nation, woman, what's going to come out as Israelite? So don't listen to Fopi. Okay, the product of this semen, seed, children, offspring, progeny, pro meaning to go forward, and geni means with the seed. Family tree. So that's a divine energy of the Holy Spirit operating within the soul by which we are regenerated. Well, that's a spiritual seed. Yahushua came from the actual seed of David through Joseph. So that's the only thing you had to hit. And like I said, that's why we avoid Christians like the plague, because they're a bunch of fucking idiots. Anyway, I'm all over the place. Okay, so this is where he goes off on both of them.
I just told you I'm going to give you two answers. Was that okay? You let me answer the first one, and now I'm going to read 24. I'm going to answer your question. It says, and Jesus himself began to be about 30 years of age, being, as was supposed, the son of Joseph, which was the son of Heli, which was the son of Mathat, which was the son of Levi, which was the son of Melchi, which was the son of Janah, which was the son of Joseph. This is still Joseph's lineage. Reason why it says as was supposed is because just like Acts the 2nd chapter said, which I'm going to answer with the scripture and go right back to the question you refused to answer. In Acts 2 and 30, it says, therefore being a prophet and knowing that God had sworn an oath to him that of the fruit of his loins according to the flesh, he would raise up Christ. So when you go to Luke 3 and 23, the reason why it says as was supposed, because the writers knew of the oath that God swore to David that as was supposed, Joseph is the only one from the house of David. So it's supposed to be from David. Both lineages are David's lineages. Neither one of them is not. Matthew is the prominent lineage. Luke is the literal lineage, and that's
he went off on that. You know, kind of halfway went off. There was two different lineages. Matthew's one was the lineage of Joseph, going back to David, which he was a Judite, tribe of Judah, Yahweh. And Luke 3 is a lineage of Mary's father, Heli. It said, as was supposed the son of Heli. The word there should be the son-in-law of Heli. Because who's the father of Joseph, the father of Yahweh? Jacob. Not the old Jacob and Esau, but Jacob. Let's listen on.
It's also Israelite custom. That's your answer? That's the only answer it could be. Okay, so suppose doesn't mean that assumes. No. Okay, look at the definition. The definition.
Assume and suppose is pretty much the same thing. I can say I assume, I suppose. It's pretty much the same thing. So I'm not going to make a big argument out of that. So come on.
What does the word suppose mean? No, that's what all I'm asking is what's supposed to, what word I'm asking you. What does the word suppose mean? I'm going to look it up, brother. Ain't that deep? Okay. In the Greek, you text it to me? Where you text it from? Oh, okay, no, sure. Okay. So now if I look up suppose, generally assume or believe to be the case.
Generally assume. Suppose and assume. I can say, oh, I assume you was doing this. I suppose you did that. Pretty much the same thing.
There you go, right there. That's in mind. So now when I go to, as is supposed in the Greek, properly to do by law, that is to accustom, by extension to to deem or regard. That's the Greek. What I read for you first was the English definition. That's why I said it was in parentheses. But when you read G3543, properly to do by law. So by law, Joseph is the father of Christ.
Good. Get down, Cap. Get down, Cap.
That's the Greek definition. You actually go to the Greek.
So you'll say, see, GMS gets on it. If you're saying something good, we're gonna praise you. If you go off, we're gonna call you out on it. All right. When do we ever say IUIC is going off because the sign ain't right? Oh, we never said that, because the sign is set up the way it's supposed to be set up in the spirit.
I went to the Greek word. You weren't honest with the definition. I read the whole thing. Properly says 3543. To suppose or assume that something. Where you get that definition from? You get it because I come right here. 3543. I'm asking you what. That's where
You could use words assume or suppose. It pretty much means the same thing. And I'm gonna say this: you Christians need us. We don't need you. We're the heavyweight champion of the world. We're the undisputed. That's why the champions don't go out calling out guys. Well, I want to fight the fifth ring guy. I want to fight the second ring guy. It's the guys lining up in the top 10 that line up to fight the champion because they want to take his throne. So in your mind, you Christians and you Kemetic Jakes out there, you want to constantly put our name in there because we are the undisputed heavyweight pound for pound champions of the world. We are the champions. Queen, classic song.
But the debate is between myself. But the debate is not you. This is not you. This is not you. Hey, Tony. I don't know who this is talking, but this.
Let me tell you something else about Christians. If these fake ass Christians, they're not even real Christians. these wacky tacky Christians. If they would have just do their videos and teach their gospel, ain't nobody gonna listen to them. When they come on the platform of an Israelite people, that's when you get all the Christians listening. The peanut gallery, yeah, get them. No, these are whack people, man. If Vocab Malone said, I'm not going to deal with the Kemetic community, I'm not going to deal with Hebrews, I'm not going to deal with that, I'm just going to teach the gospel, ain't nobody going to listen to him. And he knows that. He needs us. We don't need you. We don't need you. That's why he had to sneak up on our camp. You know what I'm saying? That devil had to sneak up on us. But an hour or so before that, he's on the comment board talking shit. Blah, 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 blah. But then all of a sudden he rolls up on us, man. That's the way the devil operates. You see what I'm saying?
It's not him. You guys already had 2 hours of that. Like, what do you have to do with clout chasing me?
Ooh, that was a spiritual liver shot. He said, "What?" He said, "What? Let me hear that again. Get down, Cap, and get down."
I don't know what this is talking, but this debate is not him. You guys already had 2 hours of that. What do you have to do with clout chasing me?
What do you have to do with clout chasing me? That's a t-shirt right there. And look, if I make a t-shirt and I become a millionaire, I'm giving the captain I'm giving him 20%. He said, "What? Let me hear that again. Let me hear that again."
Tony, I don't know what this is talking, but this debate is not him. You guys already had 2 hours of that. What do you have to do with clout chasing me?
What do you have to do with clout chasing me? Really, he's not clout chasing you. He's clout chasing the Hebrew Israelites. If he could have got to me, he would have got to me. If he could have got to Bishop Nate, he would have got to Bishop Nate or whatever, Apostle Tahar, Gabar or Rakal or whatever, whoever. They're clout chasing. Because if they say we're just going to teach the gospel, we found out the Israelites are not going to accept it because they're going to burn in hell, so we're just going to teach the gospel. Ain't nobody going to listen to them. Just like your damn hip hop, you Christian ass hip hop. Ain't nobody listen. Somebody made a statement a couple years ago on a video. He said even Christians hate Christian hip hop. So anyway, let's listen to a little bit more. I'm off the subject. I'm gonna get on the subject. I'm gonna try to breeze through this subject of the subject that I dealt with, the flea doctrine. So let's listen to a little bit more.
Portion of he and I are not finishing this exchange though. That live. What you should do is have respect for the conversation that Reggie and myself are having. I don't have a problem answering your question, but don't cut in the middle and tell the combatants when they got to stop, and you're not even the moderator. How are you not even saying that this is the question? Right, but we in the middle of having our Q&A. Okay, but we are in the middle of having our Q&A, and you have the balls to interrupt us. That's not what this is. You're talking about respect, and you just say, God, Tony, you mean that music check with this brother C-Rock?
This is why we don't want to debate or argue anything of a Christian, man, because this is what you get, a lot of back and forth. You see that Captain don't want to have the back and forth. He want to deal with question and answer. Ask me a question, I give you an answer. Let's go to the next person. This guy just wants to, he is clout chasing. He is clout chasing because, like I said, this is what the third, fourth time I'm saying it again. If these Christians, these black Christians and these others, if they just taught the gospel, nobody would follow them. And you go to YouTube where you got these Christian YouTube pages, two views, 26 views. Every once in a while you see maybe a famous, but all these so-called churches, they don't get no views, man. So let's listen to a little bit more because I wanted to, maybe I passed it. Let's hope I didn't pass it. But this is all learning. You're always learning.
How do you interrupt? I don't have no respect for you at all. I have no respect for you at you should sit down. What you do is drink scotch like tea time in the Holy Spirit. This is how you run your that video. Tony, this is how you run your rooms. Me and Reggie is in the middle of I could see if it was quiet and you came and asked your question, brother, I would ask your question. But if you see him and I on the middle, you're not the combatant, you're the questionnaire. Wait till you get to ask your question. That's if you want to supersede what you feel my lack of decorum is, you should show better decorum. You're acting like a child. And so, once again, talk again. And Reggie and Tony, you're allowing this?
That's why we don't like to go on debates, because this mostly this is what happens. Bunch of nonsense. And if it's a respectful debate on both sides, you get half of the crowd representing guy number A and the other half representing guy number B. Guess what? When the debate is over, the guy that the crowd that represents guy number B, they're gonna stick with the same belief. They're not gonna, ain't nobody gonna, well, let me slip over to the A side or to the B side. It's not gonna happen. So it's a waste of goddamn time. They need us. They all clout chasing, man. Anyway, what he said was, I think I passed it. I don't know exactly where it is, but Captain Tazariak said, well, the Christian guy, the clown, said that Joseph never had sex with Mary. It goes through the Holy Spirit, miraculous, virgin birth, whatever. And the captain said that, how did he say it? Damn, I wish I can find it. But he said something concerning, oh, he did say it. He said the Matthew was talking about one thing, and how do you say it? Matthew 1 is talking about one genealogy, and I forget how he say it. I'm not going to try to look for it because I don't know the minute mark. And then he compared that to Luke 3. And then he said something to the effect of, how did he say that? I believe he said Heli was Joseph's father, or says, as was supposed, I'm going back to Luke 3 and 23, as was supposed, the son of Heli. Heli is a father of Miriam. High priest Ariah used to teach that Miriam was a Levite because of her cousin Elizabeth, Aliyashaba, Elizabeth, as they say in Hebrew. She was a Levite. She wasn't a Levite. She was a Judite. Her father's line goes back to King David as well through Solomon. No, she went through the line of Solomon's other son, Nathan. Yes, but the lineage came back together during the time of Zerubbabel, during that time period. Read both genealogies. So there's two lines of Judah that came out of David, but they were both Judites out of not just David, but also out of Solomon, because the lines came back together again. So they were damn near cousins. You know, they were very close. Two Judites, Yahwehdites, getting together, man and a woman, Joseph and Mary. Not only that, they're Judites, Yahwehdiah, they were also out of the direct lineage of David. So Mary came out of the direct lineage of David through her father, Eli. That's all I wanted to say. But you can watch this again. I'm not going to go, jumping around. So let me do this. Okay, let me just go into the scriptures. Let me go into the precepts. Okay, so this is to debunk this whole back to Africa thing. Okay, I entitled it, I Will Take You to the Land. Now, mind you, there's a few scriptures in here. Examples, Jeremiah 29, verse 14 is talking about, if you read it, it's talking about coming out of Babylon, going back into the land. So I put them in there. I believe Jeremiah 31 also says the same thing. So there's a few scriptures that speak about going to the land, it's talking about coming out of Babylon, going back into the land. So you don't jump up and say, well, no, you adding script. I'm telling you right now. So anyway, let's do this. These are a lot of scriptures here. Okay, let's go to the first precept. And it's not in any real order. So we're going into the scriptures now, right? Oh, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? Okay, everybody, I'm getting a lot of, this was a brother that put up this video and I just downloaded it. Then I kind of changed the title. Okay, this, and look, there's, you know what I'm doing? Let me do this. It refreshes, 824. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, it went from 824 to 856, and this pissed a lot of Jakes off that's watching this. I'm looking at the comments. Oh, and another thing, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but that's all right. We're learning. Okay, this is what I did. Okay, this guy, this individual, Ron Dalton, aka, you know, his Hebrew name is Moses Levy. He said in that same video, this video right here, I believe, because I watch a lot of his videos just to see what I can pull out of it. He said, well, you know, it can't be the land of Israel because there's going to be millions or hundreds of millions of Israelites. So there won't be any room. So we need Africa. Well, when you read Genesis, which means in the headings in Hebrew, Genesis in the Hebrew is Bara'ashyath. Bara'ashyath. Anyway, Genesis chapter 15, it speaks about Abraham receiving this vision that the Israelites, his seed, was going to come out of Egypt. Oh, look at this. This is Egypt, right? I don't know the spans of Egypt, but this is Egypt. You have millions of people coming out of Egypt, right? This is what he said. This is Canaan. This will be the land of Palestine, Israel. Below that is Moab, Ammon, and then Esau. So what did the Lord say in the vision to Abram? That your seed is going to be from the river, the great river. Matter of fact, let me go to it so I don't botch it up. They bring this over. That's why you got to know maps. You got guys that know precept, but you go into maps, they get lost. Okay, where did I say I was going to go? Okay, let me go to Genesis 15. And let me go. Then you got these Israelites saying that this is talking of prophecy of America. No, because it says here, it says 16, it goes into the prophecy. It says, but in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. What's an Amorite? A Canaanite. So the Amorites are going to commit their iniquity in the land until the Most High sets up Israel. So that's why the Lord said, go in there and kill them. The Amorites, the Hivites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, and so forth. Because their time was full. Until the fullness of the Gentiles in Luke 21. When the Gentiles do their wickedness, that's when the Most High is going to get them. So when the Canaanites, Amorites is one of them, the Most High is going to say, okay, now you're going to get them. Because they were doing their wickedness. What they were doing was they were sacrificing their babies, they were sacrificing women, they were burning them to their gods. It says, and it came to pass when the sun went down. Let me go to the point. Okay. In the same day, the Lord So this right here proved that this is not talking about America, because ain't no Amorites ruling America. In the same day, Yahweh made a covenant agreement with Abraham, saying, "Unto thy seed," which are, how many seeds did he have? He had 8 initial seeds. Ishmael was the first. Isaac was the second. So that means, well, wait a minute. Edomites are the seed of Abraham. Yes, they are, but they're not the chosen seed. Unto thy seed. What seed is it talking about? The seed, Isaac, the second son, and Jacob, the second son of Isaac. That seed. And out of Jacob, he had more than one seed, which actually came to 12 tribes of Israel. Originally, it was 13 tribes. Have I given this land, which is the land of the Israelites, from the river of Egypt and unto the great river, the river Euphrates. So now let's go to the map. That's the Nile, but that's what Cush is. That's what Cush is. Cush, Egypt. So it has to be talking about this river. Either way, let's say it's this river. Then we got all this land. That's more land. This is the expanse of the Red Sea. So how much land are we going to get? All this land right here. All this land right here, because we're dealing with the expanse of the Red Sea. Shem. You see? Shem. All up here, that's the land of Canaan. All up here. And guess what? This is the Euphrates. So how much land are we getting? We're getting all this land right here. And if you measure it, this is about 1,200 miles. That's like going from New York to Jacksonville, Florida. Because I did that. I've driven from New York to Jacksonville, Florida. And it would stops, little rest here and there, going to restaurants, going to bathrooms, taking little 15-minute breaks. It takes about it takes about 20, almost 24 hours. So we're talking about you're driving for 24 hours. How many people can you get? How many millions of people can you get right here? I don't give a damn if it's 2-3 billion people. You can fit them all in here. So this guy, Ronald Dalton's logic is, well, see, you can't fit all them people in the land. No, it's not the land of Israel, and that's what the small hats. Small hats don't. That's another thing that cuts these small hats. They don't own this land. All they own is this right here. If they read the prophecy, they would know that they own all this here. That's Jerusalem in the whole. That's the land of Israel, and we're gonna control everything. Okay, so let me go into these precepts here. I'm trying to breeze through them. Forgive me for boring you with all this talk. Let's go right to it. Ezekiel 37, verse 21. You got to read this whole. I can't stress this enough. This is one of my favorite prophecies because it pretty much says it all. This pretty much starts with Ezekiel seeing Jake in America in a dead state, see him coming back to life, right? See him getting the breath in them, which is the knowledge, the true knowledge that we're the people. Even to the point where it's hitting celebrities. And that was the Most High put the spirit on Ye and Kyrie to say what he got to say. They don't have the whole truth. They would be kindergartners if they came into our truth. They had to start from the very beginning. And it might take them a couple of years, maybe 6 months, a year, to really get a good meal of the truth. Use that terminology. So they don't know. But guess what? They knew enough to stir up them people from the ADL. Now they're talking about you had a lot of Jakes outside of Shaquille O'Neal is looking like a stupid ass. Oh, another thing. If that film is so, I hope I can find this. I hope I put it up. I hope I left it up. Bear with me for a minute. Bear with me for a minute. I'm gonna be pissed off if it's. Where the hell? No, I'm pissed the hell off. Anyway, the actual movie Hebrews and Negroes is still on Amazon. Let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. Because I believe I put in my favorites. Let's hope I did. Did I? Okay, boom, I got it. Look at this. All right, so you can actually watch this. When you click on this, it's going to lead you to Amazon. Oh, I'm sorry, Prime Video, which is Amazon. In other words, you got to get this, 30-day free, whatever. Where the hell did I go now? Boy. So that leads you to Amazon. Flicks More, which leads you to Amazon. And the movie's up there. So if you get the free trial, you can get to watch this movie. See? H2N, Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America, because he's only dealing with Jakes, not the other tribes, so he's off on that. And it said filmmaker? So I can hardly see it. Ronald Dalton Jr. Now, ever since this controversy, his sales and shot up. If you want to buy the video, I believe if you want to watch it, it's $10 or whatever with tax, $12, $13. If you want to actually buy the DVD, I believe it's $40. And the sales went up. And this is the first one from 2018, and he did more. So this guy's got to be I'm not pocket watching, but he don't be surprised if the guy's a millionaire, And that's neither here or there. I'm not trying to, but he's making some money because of the controversy sells. Hebrews and Negroes, Wake Up Black America, Home, History, blah, blah, blah. So that's part of the awakening. But if you notice, they didn't take it down. If it's so controversial and so anti-Semitic, why didn't they put this guy, Ron Dalton Jr. on blast? If it's so anti-Semitic, why didn't they put Shaquille O'Neal for putting in his theater in New Jersey back in 2018? Why didn't they get on him? Why didn't they call him out on that? And Shaq is messed up in this scandal with this cryptocurrency. He's caught up. He promoted, so he's looking bad now. Shaq ain't saying too much now, right? But he had the movie played in his theater. So guess what? He was pushing anti-Semitic tropes, or he promoted the movie. If you own a movie and somebody gives you a movie, you put it in there, you have to have somebody review it to see if it's acceptable. All right? Why isn't Amazon, the head of the owner, the CEO, the head of Amazon is Jeff Bezos? Why haven't they called him to task? And they haven't protested the movie. They didn't bring it down because money's being made. Jeff Bezos is making money. Ron Dalton Jr. is making money. They're making money. How many other people are making money? And they're making millions of dollars. Controversy sells. So now let's read this again. And say unto them, thus saith Yahweh, the Most High, behold, I will take the children of Israel, which are the 12 tribes. Obviously, there was a split. So did that split of did those two kingdoms come back together? No, they're coming back together right now. That's what the 12 tribes is all about. And will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel. Did that happen? It's getting ready to happen. And that's what the small hats are afraid of. Like I said, read this whole chapter. I love this chapter. So let's go to the next precept, Ezekiel 36, verse 24. For I will take you from among the heathen are the other nations, and gather you out of all countries, because Israel scattered literally throughout all countries, and will bring you into your own land. So what's this whole flea doctrine that Ron Dalton is pushing? And then a couple of people, brothers, put up videos saying, there was one video where somebody asked a question, what if I can't afford to go back to Africa? So the only ones that's going to be delivered are Jake's. Do you know how much it costs? You living in an apartment or a house. Do you know how much it costs if you got the money? How much trouble you got to go through? What are you going to do with your furniture? If you take all your furniture and you ship it over to Africa, that's going to cost, right? You're talking, I don't know how many thousands of dollars. Then you got to go find a place in Africa. Then you got to deal with the laws of Africa, the real estate laws. There's a lot you just don't get up and just go to Africa. Okay? And you need money. You need money. You need the shekels. So in order for you, a Jake family, to say we're going to move to Africa, you better have a couple $100,000 in your bank. How many Jakes have, the average Jakes out there have, they say, if the average American, not just Jake, but the average American, more so Jake, if there's a $400 emergency, your car breaks down, you're gonna be stuck, because you gotta scramble to get that $400 together. So somebody asked a question. So that's showing you that shit ain't gonna work, because the only ones that's gonna be delivered are the rich Jakes. So this guy, there's all kind of holes in this guy's doctrine. And he knows that we call him out. That's all we're doing is making videos about this guy. He's an Israelite. He's one of our brothers, but he's wrong. He's dead wrong. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you, meaning for you, vocab Malone, none of the heathens are going to make it. He's going to separate the Israelites from the other nations, whether they're Christians or Buddhists or whatever, and he's going to bring us back to the land. Okay, next precept. I'm trying to breeze through these. Deuteronomy 4, verse 29. But if from thence thou shalt seek Yahweh thy power, thou shalt find him, if thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul, when thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter day. Even in the latter days, we're in the latter days, if thou turn to Yahweh thy power and shalt be obedient unto him. And it doesn't mean keep the laws necessarily. It means to acknowledge that you're Israelite, start reading the scriptures, acknowledge that you have a savior, which is Yahweh Shai, that saved you because you were damned by the Most High for breaking the laws. And then slowly you start to keep the laws. See, IUIC got it wrong. Oh, you got to keep the laws, brother. No, You gotta eat as the Lord told the disciples, eat my flesh and drink my blood. What does that mean? It means to eat this role, learn this role, learn about Israel. You might come in 1 week and 2 weeks later there's a Passover. We're not going to let you go to the Passover because you just came in. You're not rooted and grounded. Now, next year, if you grow in this thing, you will say, brother, if you want to go to the Passover, go to the Passover. Even the Apostle Paul did that. When he said, I must needs make this feast in the book of Acts, he left the people that he was with. He didn't bring them with him because they were newly coming into the faith, the truth. That's why the Apostle Paul said what he said. Let no man judge you on meats and the high holy days, which is a shadow of things to come. And that's what IUIC is doing. You got to keep the law. You black woman, you got to take them pants off. You didn't even tell them that they're Israelites. And come on, man. The main thing is knowing that you're an Israelite. And then when you know that you're an Israelite, then you learn about Yahweh Shai. You learn that Yahweh Shai is in the volume of the book. And then you digest his word and then you grow in it. That's why you got guys that start knowing nothing about the scriptures to top teachers. They know the book because they ate the book. It says 31st verse. But for the Lord Yahweh, thy power is a merciful power. Notice that's in parentheses. He will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he swore unto them. This is a beautiful scripture right here, because if you have a friend, right, that dies, he has a son that's always getting into trouble, and he said, my dying wishes that you take care of my son. You might hate to take care of that boy, but you're going to take care of that son because of the promise that you made to his father. Same thing right here. The reason why we're on the good side of the Most High is because of the works, the faith that Abraham had, the fathers of the promise, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right? So this is a spiritual awakening. When you start awakening, then you start to keep a law here, law there. You know? Now that don't mean, oh, go out and commit adultery. You know, there's certain basic laws unto death that you can't be a Mo. That's a law unto death. But if you don't keep the Passover, that's all right because you're learning. You're growing. See, GMS, we give it to you right. Okay. I got a bunch of precepts here. Deuteronomy 30, verse 1, really 1 to 10. Restoration promise. I'll read some of the verses, but read from Deuteronomy 30, verse 1, and read to 10. I'm not going to read it all. I'll skip around. And it shall come to pass when all these things come upon thee, the curses and the blessings and the curses, which, so we're in the time now. We experience the blessings, and now we experience these curses to this day, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, because we're scattered among the nations, whither Yahweh the Most High have driven thee. And you can read on, go down, jump down to 7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and upon them that hate thee, which persecute thee. So guess what? All these nations, they're gonna suffer these curses. We're gonna put them in hot boxes and cook them like turkeys. Isaiah 43, verse 5 to 7. Fear not, for I am with thee. Talk to the Israelites. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far and my daughters from the ends of the earth. What's the other side of the earth in relation to them being in the Middle East? Is the Americas, North, Central, and South America, because Israel's up in Canada, America, and Central and South America. Even everyone that is called by my name, which are the Most High gave us the name Israel, sons of the Most High. For I have created him for my glory, which starts with Yahweh Shai, and it trickles down to us. I have formed him, yea, I have made him. Talking about Yahweh Shai, but we are joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. We're going to get the blessings that the Lord's going to get. Now, a precept comes to mind. Where did I put it? Did I write it? Yeah, okay, it's right here. It's right here. Because it mentioned the east, the west, the north. I'm sorry. I gotta go to the Apocrypha. Matter of fact, I think I have it already. I'll start from the 28th verse. Baruch 2, verse 28. As thou speakest by the servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write the law before the children of Yasha'Allah, saying, if ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude, the Israelites, shall be turned into a small number. Why? Because they're scattered among the nations, where I will scatter them. Deuteronomy 28:64. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. So you can thank Kyrie, you can thank Ye, because we jumping on their backs. So this is all about Israel. You can read to the end of this. So ain't nobody gonna save up no money. Jake is just gonna leave. That doesn't make any sense at all. You know that, Ron Dalton. That's why they asked you that question. What if we can't afford it? Is Ron Dalton gonna take? I don't know how much, what he's worth, but how many Jakes? Let's say 10 million Jakes say we want to go back. We all want to decide to go back to Africa. Let's say 3 million of them. Let's say 5 million of them can't really afford it. The ones that can afford it, are they going to help them out? No, that's not going to happen. So the deliverance is going to be a great deliverance. We're not going to get passports, and then another thing, you can't get a passport if you got a felony. I may be wrong on this. You know, if you got an open case, you can't get a passport. So that's not going to happen, Ronald Dalton. And you know what? He watches our video. He ain't going to act. He don't buck up against it. You don't have the truth. We got the truth. You're not a prophet of the Lord. You're just a man. You're just an Israelite that knows a little something. Okay, this is one that we all know. Jeremiah 16:14. Therefore, behold, the days come, which are in those days, saith Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, the Lord Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. In other words, this deliverance is going to overtake the deliverance of Egypt. Are we still going to celebrate the Passover? Yeah. Passover, you keep the Passover from generation to generation. But Yahweh liveth, that brought up the sons. The word there is sons of Israel from the land of the north. What is it talking about? The land of the north, the Americas, and from all the lands, because you got Jake scattered throughout all the earth, lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. It didn't say, and Ronald Dalton is going to lead them back into the land. And Elder Rakar Shaya of the GOCC, he brought up that BS about the free doctrine, and he fucked a lot of people's lives up, man, to the point that they don't even want to identify with Israel. So the Most High gonna destroy him. Jeremiah 3:18. We should really start from the first verse. That's a great matter of fact. I had to do a video on that. Jeremiah chapter 3. Great video. I mean, great a chapter. Goes into a lot. Bear me for a minute. Okay. In those days, the house of Judah shall walk in the house and shall walk with the house of Israel. When did that happen? These people that the small hats over there in Israel, they're not talking about the tribe. Where's the tribe of Gad at? Where's the tribe of Reuben? Where's the tribe of Naphtali? It says when the Most High is going to bring the two houses together, then they're going to go back to the land. And how are we going to be brought back to the land? By way of the chariots of Israel. It said in those days, the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall, which by the way is the house of David, because David was the king over the whole kingdom before the split. And they shall come together out of the land of the north. What is it talking about? Russia? No, but you're gonna have Jakes that live in Russia that can come out of Russia, that are of the elect. Talking about North America, to the land that I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers. And this is what the small hats are afraid of, because we're waking up. Isaiah 11:11. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which are Israelites, all the 12 tribes, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. And then the last precept that I went to said the land of the north, which is talking about America. It says, and he shall, and they shall, should be they, and he shall set up an ensign. He shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of who? Of Israel, national Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. It speaks of Ephraim and Judah getting together, and they jacking up these other nations, which includes the Philistines, which are Mizraim, Moab, Ammon, and Edom. Those are the neighbors of Israel going back over 2,000 years ago. So where are the Philistines now? They're still in Africa, but they're scattered around the world. Where's Moab? Moab and Ammon. They're to the uttermost east. The scriptures tell you that they will go to the uttermost east. That's in the book of Ezekiel. I'm not going to tell you what chapter. And Edom. Is Edom all of the land? No. Edom runs the world. That's the Most High put the spirit on Edom to run the whole world. He's the prince of the power of the air. Okay, let's go to Jeremiah 50, verse 31. Give you a couple more. That's why I said get your notepads out. And Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 49, Jeremiah 51. I love these prophetic scriptures here. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud. Go to Obadiah. Esau is the most proud. Saith Yahweh of hosts, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. And the Lord is visiting you through these UFOs. And the most proud, Esau, the Edomites. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Don't listen to Geno Jennings, that big bubblehead clown. Esau is an addict for Jesus. Yeah, I was talking about Jesus, you dumb, big boneheaded Jake. And the most proud shall stumble and fall. You're gonna go down. Esau gonna go down, and none shall rise him up. And you're going down. You got a walking corpse as a president. And I will kindle a fire in his. What fire is it talking about? The missiles, and it shall devour all round about him. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah, or the children of Yasha'al and the children, or the sons of Yasha'al and the sons of Yahweh were oppressed together. Anytime you go in the hood, you're going to see Jake on the corner. You're going to see a bunch of Issacharites. You're going to see a Mexican restaurant. You're going to see a soul food restaurant. You're going to see some Benjaminites, West Indians walking around. You're going to see a Benjamite restaurant. You're going to see some Ecuadorians. You're going to see some so-called Puerto Ricans, some Cubans, all of it. And then you got a lot of Jakes that's, Jake and Ephraim. Years ago, Ephraim and Jake wouldn't look at each other. Now you got a lot of Jake men and Ephraimite women, and Jake women, Ephraimite men, that they have children like Black Rob. Black Rob, his mother was Ephraim and his father was Jake. And he knew how to speak Spanish. He did a song called Dame Espacio. Listen to that song. That's a nice little cut right there. Dame Espacio. That's on the same album when he did the Woe. When he did the name of the song is Woe, the Woe, whatever. I'm an old dude. But on that same album, or CD, whatever you want to call it, there's a cut called Dame Espacio, all right, which is Spanish for give me space. It said 33 verse. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the sons of Israel and the sons of Judah, Yahweh, Yasha'al and Yahweh will press together, and all that took them captives held them fast. You got the Latin tribes all in Central and South America, right? Who put them? Who they were in their land before Esau came. When Esau came, they put them in slavery and took them captive and held them fast. They refused to let them go, and they ain't gonna let you go. Their Redeemer is strong. Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause. He gonna judge the Edomites for us, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. He's gonna give us rest, because we're gonna go back to our land, Isaiah 14, 1 and 2, and he's gonna disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. He's gonna take them out. He's gonna put their lights out. 35th verse, Jeremiah 50, verse 30, 35. A sword, Isaiah 34, is upon the Chaldeans, Isaiah 34, saith the Lord Yahweh, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, the people that live in Babylon, and upon her princes, of the leaders, of presidents, of Congress people, and upon her wise men. A sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. A sword is upon the mighty men in the military, and they shall be dismayed. A sword, 37th verse, is upon their horses, their power, and upon their chariots. What are the modern day chariots? And upon all the mingled people, because this is a great melting pot, right? Their they're in the midst of her, and they shall become as woman. They're going to bitch up. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. Like I said, you got to read the whole, and read Jeremiah 49, Jeremiah 50, and Jeremiah 50 through 50, 51. And we keep trying to do breakdowns, script, videos on, breaking down, these various prophetic scriptures. It's good to do it because you got people that bring out a precept. Then you say, well, what does this 2 verses above that mean? And then they're lost. So sometimes you got to go through a whole, which we call breakdown, what the Christian scholars call hermeneutics. Hermeneutics go back to, and I said this before, go back to when you go to the blue letter and you click on the word to see what the root word is. If it's in the Old Testament, it's in the Hebrew, that's called hermeneutics. And it's not just a Christian concept. It's just going into root words. Another way of saying etymology. Let me give you a few more, and then I'm going to close. I went long. Hosea 1 and 10. We all know that one. And before you read Hosea 1 and 10, you got to read Revelation 12. And they go hand in hand. Yet the number of the sons of Yeshua Allah shall be, yet the number of Bunyam Yeshua Allah shall be as the sand of the sea, which this is not literal, because I did some research. How many grains of sand is in a handful of sand? I think they said billions. So the sands of the sea would be trillions. Trillions. There's no such thing as trillions of Israelites. The highest the population right now, according to Esau, is about 8 billion plus. All right, there's nowhere near 8 trillion. So if you look up how many grains of sand is in the sand of the sea, of any sea, there's trillions upon trillions. I think the word is quadrillion. Quadrillion is 1,000 trillion. Yet the number of the Bunyam Yeshua Allah shall be as the sand of the sea, because they didn't say Judah because they come back together, which cannot be measured or numbered. They're going to be a big number in the billions. And it shall come to pass that in the place, that's America, where it was said unto them, ye are not the people. That's what you got the ADL for. You're not the people. You're anti-Sep. You're anti-Sep. No, we're pro-Shem. There it shall be said unto them, ye are, yea. Ye said it. Yea said it, right? Yea are the sons of the living power. Then shall the sons of Bunyam Yahawada, and the sons Bunyam Yasha'alayam be gathered together. Remember Jeremiah 50, they will press together and appoint themselves one head. The physical head on the earth is King David or Peter, and they shall come up out of the land and the lands, but the land is talking about America, destroy the whole land, Isaiah 13, and great shall be the day of Jezreel. Jezreel means what? Yahzerai Allah. He seed of God. He seed of the power. You got Amos 9 and 2, the house of David. You got Revelation 11 and 8. The Revelation 11, 8 goes hand in hand with um, where did I go to? I always link them together. Oh, Ezekiel 37, Daniel 12 and 1. And what's going to happen before the destruction is the great MOTB. The by the way, Paul Kersey, don't come on. We're gonna cut you. We don't deal with you no more, based upon what you said. Oh, maybe the mark already came already. That means the Most High took it from you. He gave it to you, and you're the old bottle of wine. So you are a persona non grata. It says Revelation 18 and 4. Now, the leadership of One West, they used to say that we got to get passports. We got to go to South America. No, we're going to be delivered by way of the ships. Baruch 5, that's another one. Ezekiel 20, verse 30 to 30, 33 to 38. Let's go to Baruch 5 and 1. And so I mentioned some of the precepts. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to read the first verse. You know what? Let me read it in context. I'll read verses 1 to 4. Let's the main verse is verse 1. Put off, O Yerushalayim, which is a people before us, a plate, the garment of mourning and affliction. We're being afflicted and we're mourning to this day. And put on the comeliness of the glory that cometh from the Most High forever. Cast about thee a double garment of the righteousness, which, this is another one. What is that? Revelation 16, if I'm not mistaken, being naked. That means not having this truth. And garments also represent being covered with righteousness. When you go back to Ezekiel 37, where they put a covering, what's the covering? The righteousness, which cometh from the Most High, and set a diadem on thine head, like a diamond on thy head, of the glory of the everlasting. For the Most High will show thy brightness unto every country under heaven. We're going to be above them. Supremacy. For thy name shall be called of the Most High forever. The peace of righteousness and the glory of the Most High's worship. Because we're going to be teaching the laws. Isaiah 2, verse 2. Micah 4, verse 2, if I'm not mistaken. That's what's written on the UN building. Nation shall not learn nation anymore. And they said they used that, 1948. There's wars going on all over the goddamn place. So the true people of the Lord are not in the land of Israel. They're imposters. Let me give you one more. Ezekiel 20, verse 33. As I live, saith Yahweh the Most High, surely with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out, will I rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye were scattered, with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. So if you have any, you know what that means in a big picture? You know, you got the IUIC going to Africa. You don't got to go to Africa to teach them because they're not going to be destroyed by missiles. The main focus is right over here in America. If they pick it up on the YouTube, okay, that's good because there ain't really nothing panning out there in Africa, man. It's out of America. Though they'll be elect in other countries, but when the missiles hit, then we're gonna go around the countries, and that's when Jake's gonna see the power. And the day of thy power, thy people shall be willing. It says 36 verse, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord power. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. Oh, by the way, people say, well, now we're in the new covenant. No, we're not in the new covenant. When we're in the new covenant is when all Israel keeps the laws, when the Most High put the Spirit in all of them. We're in between the old covenant and the new covenant. We're trying our best to keep the laws to the best of our ability. There will be a time where the Most High is going to change us and program us, and we're going to be the perfect human beings. Like in the movie The Fifth Element, if you watch it, a good movie. I like sci-fi movies. They produced this force, and the guy said, "This is the perfect human beings, whatever, perfect specimen or something like that." But it was a white woman, and I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that, and that's happening now anyway. Transgress against me, I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Yasha'Allah, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. So this is parabolic. This is poetic, but there's going to be a lot of our people that's going to buck up against this. So being delivered is one thing, and then going around the world and going into it doesn't say what wilderness we're going to go to. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.